Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This is Zena Wilson here, and today we're here to talk about the one and only Tremors. This movie, or this line of movies, 7 movies, are complete shit. And I love them. If you don't know what Tremors is, I'll quickly fill in the gaps for you. These 7 movies go all over the place. One of them takes place in America, another one takes place in Mexico, another one takes place in Africa, one takes place in Canada, and one, I believe, takes place down in the Caribbean? Yeah, it's all over the place. It takes us to travel back in time to show you what what the graboids look like when they first come out of the eggs, right? But also to introduce you to where the origins. I think that was number 4, and it was called Tremors Origins or something like that. Anyway, this line of movies are basically the reason people love these movies so much is because they're absolute shit, but they're also absolutely amazing because people come to these movies for a few specific reasons. 1, funny quips, decent storytelling, decent acting, and blowing stuff up and shooting big guns. Now you might just look at the screen going, "Oh, Zane Wilson, that just sounds like a boring ass Michael Bay movie." Stupid. It's way better than any Michael Bay movie. In every single conceivable way, this is better than a Michael Bay movie, okay? I'm just saying. If you love Michael Bay movies, fine, whatever. But you gotta admit, those movies are not very realistic. Not saying Tremors is the ultra-realistic version of this. No. I'm saying that it is both partially, it takes a bit of realism and a bit of fantasy, right? Like, you don't see cars blowing up simply because another car bumped into it. Ambulance, I'm looking at you. You know what you did. Cars, when they bump into each other, do not blow up, okay? And shooting a car does not make it blow up either. That's not how cars work. The movie proves you don't need, over-the-top, amazing graphics or something like that. At least the original 4 didn't. The newer ones have better CGI. I don't know why I said graphics earlier. I meant CGI. But I don't really like them as much because they kind of move away from what made the originals look so cool and sleek, right? Like the new ones just look kind of like your generic spike-covered beak monster thing. Except maybe the Shriekers. The Shriekers still look pretty good, but the ass blasters from the newer movies look so stupid. I honestly actually hate the design for the newer ass blasters. They look so dumb. Anyway, we're not here to talk about what I don't like about the movies. We're here to talk about what I love about the movies. And the fact that they have done it basically for 7 movies, and every movie is unique and kind of cool in its own way, right? Like, every movie introduces, a brand new thing. Now, you might just think, oh, well, that's what sequels do. They introduce a new threat. But this one puts a twist on it because it's revealing the evolutions and changes of the animals and the different variations of said animals when it's on a different continent. Like the African variant is different than the North American variant. What's another thing? Oh, the original 4, right? Number 1, it first introduces you to the graboids. Number 2, it shows a new form called Shriekers, which is by far my favorite form. Then the third movie introduces you to my second favorite form, simply because it has an absurdly stupid name, the Ass Blaster, which is a sleeker, more aerodynamic version of the Shriekers that can fly by igniting its own farts. Stay with me. The animals all act differently, right? Like the killer thing that the underground version of the graboid does, or graboid. lost my train of thought, which is because each variant has its own name, right? Ass Blaster, Shrieker, and Graboid. And then Dirt Dragon is basically the newly hatched versions of the Graboids, which were revealed in the fourth movie that goes back in time. Just wiggling my pinky. Pinky. Variant holds its own new kind of thing, like its own new gimmick, right? Like the original Graboids were very smart, and they were so scary because they're so big and you couldn't see them until they're right on top of you. And basically, anywhere you moved on the ground, they could hear you, which is one of the reasons why I'm so paranoid when I go for walks. This movie has traumatized me beyond belief. I am paranoid every time I go for a walk. If I ever hear rumbling in the ground, I'm immediately jumping up on a rock. I'm just saying. Or climbing up a tree. I don't care if it's like a giant redwood. I'm climbing up that tree. I'm getting off the ground and away from the Graboid. So there's the Graboid, but then you got the Shriekers, which they're completely blind, just like the originals, but they have their own new thing. Well, they say they're blind, but they're not really blind because they attack things kind of like a rattlesnake, right? That's what I'm saying, that because that's a reference to the movie. They strike at things with heat because they have a heat sensor on the top of their head here, which is by far the most disgusting thing I've ever seen how they use it. Because instead of it being like a little heat pit, kind of like a snake does, where it's always there and it always kind of sees with the heat, this thing is like folded up on the top of its head, and it like unfolds, and it's like this undulating mass under. It's disgusting, but it's also so cool. I don't know why. And then it has two legs, it runs fast, and it goes up, and it relatively groups. And the way it populates, well, actually, I don't even think the Graboids repopulate themselves anyway. The Shriekers, which are the next step in their life cycle, they reproduce without having sex. They're hermaphrodites, and they reproduce by eating food. I'm not kidding. If you haven't seen the movies, the way these guys reproduce is once they get enough food, just bleh, and there's another one. So it's literally exponential reproduction. Now, there are some problems with that, but I'm not a geneticist, so I'm not going to get into that. Then the next step in their evolution is the ass blaster. I probably said that word more times than any other curse word when talking about this show. Movies. And it comes from the Shriekers, and it keeps a relatively same body, right? It sheds its skin, and then it grows these big fin type things along the side of its body and the top of its body. And they're the last stage of the cycle because they're the ones who carry the eggs, and they use those eggs. They fly far distances, lay the eggs, and the eggs themselves can go into like a kind of hibernation thing. And then the cycle repeats itself. I'm not going to get into Dirt Dragons because they're like barely even really talked about in any of the movies. So I'm just going to, you want to see what they are, go look it up. And what happens in every movie, and for some reason it still hasn't lost its touch, is they find humans minding their own business, doing stuff, Graboids show up, everything goes to shit, and then humans find new way or to blow up or dismantle the Graboid in some way, right? In one, it was by blowing up the Graboids by getting them to eat explosives or driving them off a cliff. In two, it was blowing up the refinery that the Shriekers are wearing, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. So every movie you come to, they introduce something new, and it is the character's job to figure out how else to blow the Graboids up. And I love it. The movies are shit. The animation for the older ones is garbage, but that doesn't matter. this series of movies is proof that you don't need crazy good CGI or something like that. You just need good actors, a decent story, and a decent amount of fun with it, with said story, to make a good movie. Anyway, hope you guys did enjoy. I didn't have a script for this, if you couldn't tell, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about Tremors because I thought it really needed to be talked about because this is a great series of movies, and I hope Universal keeps making them. Anyway, hope you guys did enjoy. Support me on Patreon. Go visit my Discord. Follow my Wattpad if you want to read some fanfics. And they're decent, okay? They're not like stupid and just like one shots or something. They're like actual full-fledged stories. In fact, 3 of the books I made are all interconnected into the same story, right? So you got like 3 different main characters, right, for the books, but the actual stories themselves is interweaved into each other. It's like its own multiverse type thing, but it's actually in the same universe. It's more or less just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a way. Anyway, yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.